Okay. If you are interested in what I have to say in this video, I would recommend that you should, at the end of the video, listen to the song "Kings Never Die" by Eminem, because it expresses the will and the psychology of absolute spirit. And from a Hegelian perspective, it's perfectly logical because art is the manifestation of absolute spirit. Um, I just would like to read a few passages from this book, Hegel and the Hermetic Tradition, page 129. Kojève, I think he was a French writer, intellectual who talked about Hegel. He says, "For self-consciousness to exist, for philosophy to exist, there must be transcendence of self with respect to self as given." The self as given is the body and the average consciousness. And then H.S. Harris, an American commentator of Hegel, says that in Hegel's view, we have to annihilate our own selfhood in order to enter the sphere where philosophy herself speaks. In ancient Greece, it was widely believed that the poets were divinely inspired, that it was not the individual empirical poet who spoke, but the divinity who spoke through the poet. And it was also true of the oracles in Delphi, the oracles, and philosophy is poetry in a higher form, in the sense that, and by the way, religion, it is also believed in religion that it is not the prophet as a man who speaks, it is the spirit which talks through the prophet about spirit. And the same goes with philosophy. And Hegel says that in order for philosophy to become effective, we have to annihilate our own selfhood and just be the receptacle, the tool of philosophy, and let the flow of dialectical speculative logic run its course and express itself. And we are just a medium, and we just have to passively let the logos, which is partly the word in the Bible, but more precisely Hegelian logic, and we have to let this logos speak through us. And then a little later, it talks about the alchemical process. In alchemy, making gold involves breaking base metals down into their primal elements and then raising them up to the perfected metal form of gold. At the same time, the alchemist was expected to purify himself, or the process would not work. So there is a conflict within God. God makes himself man so that he can experience his own creation. And he first identifies with the body in which the soul, if you will, has been incarnated. And what the Christians call the devil, what Hegel calls the negative, is the false identification of the self to the empirical self. But negating the empirical self as such by self-mutilation is not, strictly speaking, the proper way of attaining unity with the divine, because you have to understand that the body is necessary for the experience of God. So that's why you have to reconcile the negativity, the pain that you suffer in your body, with the idea of God, and this is the true reconciliation. And yeah, so uh, the devil, or Lucifer, is the part of God which does not want to let go of the body. and it's a part of God himself, because God partly enjoys being in a body and experiencing reality with the pleasurable feelings, but of course he dislikes the displeasurable or the painful feelings, and of course, but the purpose of absolute spirit is to turn lead into gold, to purify the body and elevate it to absolute spirit. And this is an alchemical process, a Hegelian process, a Christian process. And yeah, so now that I've said that, you can listen to Eminem's song Kings Never Die, and many of Eminem's lyrics will make sense and you will understand better. So, yeah.